welcome back in. Trey Lowell here with Lowell Productions. Today's video is centered around taking the Rokinon 24mm T1.5 and pairing it up with the Panasonic GH5, coming up next. So for all those Micro Four Thirds shooters out there, today's video is for you, and specifically the Panasonic GH5 users. Now this Rokinon 24mm piece of glass paired up with the Metabone Speed Booster is going to be our weapon of choice today. And the reason why I want to spend some time on this particular piece of glass is that over the past few years using it with the Panasonic GH5, I absolutely love the look and feel of this piece of glass. Coming in roughly, a lot of you guys are going to be able to find it new, I think at about $500. This is the Canon EF mount, which is why we have the Metabone Speed Booster. Now, one thing right off the bat that I absolutely love about this piece of glass is just going to be, it's pretty solid, it's pretty heavy, and what you guys can see is that it is just beefy, and as far as its focus pulling goes, it's so smooth. And I'll actually give you guys, here it is. All right, now the reason that I do that is just for many of you guys out there that have used CINE glass, comparatively speaking to something like a kit lens, like here we go. You can just hear that's not gonna be as smooth as this guy right here. Barely can even tell. Okay, now that being said, the reason that I hone in on that particular feature is when it comes to shooting B-roll, you can just pull focus so easy and so smooth. Now, also you do have the advantage of knocking this bad boy down to a T1.5, which is a great feature, especially when paired up with the Panasonic GH5. So first up, 4K 8-bit 60 frames per second, ISO 400 at a T4 with a slight pan. Next, we have 4K 8-bit 60 ISO 800 at a T5.6. We have some sweet 4K 10-bit 24 FPS, a little bit more 10-bit at a T2.8, 4K 10-bit at that T1.5. We also have that 4K 60 slow-mo, no warp stabilizer handheld. And last but not least, some 120 frames per second at 1080p. And side note, guys, all of these have not been color graded. They're straight out of camera, shooting with the standard profile. So now that you guys have seen some footage with this particular setup with the Panasonic GH5, I'd love to hear what you guys think in regards to the sharpness of the footage, how is the stabilization, being the fact that a lot of the footage was shot handheld, as you guys could see, and some of it was shot on the tripod, just to give you guys an overall look and feel of what this particular setup is going to deliver in more of a studio environment. Now that being said, we have spent some time in the studio, and the only way to put this to another test is to take it outside. So rather than wasting any more time, let's jump right outside. The goal here is taking the exact same setup, but it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's not ideal situation or scenario to be filming, so we're popping on an ND filter. We're gonna be jumping between 4K 24 frames, 4K 60, and some 1080, 120 frames per second to give you guys an understanding of how this functions handheld with the Panasonic GH5 in a real-world outdoor situation. So that's a little more handheld, different colors. I think one thing that I want to do as well is give you guys a look at how this lens would function 100% handheld, 24 frames, kind of doing a little bit of a ninja walk. So that was a quick glance and look at how I would just shoot middle of the day, 3 p.m. Not ideal at all, but using that ND filter and the Rokinon and flipping back and forth between multiple settings, you guys got a glimpse to see the kind of footage and the results you can get from simply just kind of wandering around. So if you found this video useful, go ahead and drop a like below. And if you like the content that I keep creating on this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video.